Guys, always to be Monday Night Football, but again, I'm filling in this week for Joe Wainman. Joe Wainman, to be fair, is having issues with his internet and a couple of things in terms of housing situation. So, massive apologies for that, guys. Unfortunately, got me again this week. But yeah, Joe Wainman is having a couple of issues with his internet. So, yeah, in terms of a live stream, it is impossible to do without the internet. But again, the show must go on. I'm filling in for the main man again, which is difficult, but I'm delighted to be doing it again, guys. Anyway, but Joe Wainman will be back next week, 100% on that one, guys. He better be anyway. But yeah, anyway. So, I mean, it's an interesting one, isn't it? I guess some of the angle we've got to go with. Obviously, it's first international break of the season so far. Guys, keep your comments coming in as always. Obviously, it's 6 games into the season in terms of league games. I know it's 8 technically, but it's a cup. I don't care about the cup, to be honest with you, at the minute, guys. 6 league games in, 13 points, third in the table. And yeah, I guess it's a review of that, really. We're obviously into an international break, and it's probably a good time to reflect, really, on what we've done so far this season. But guys, keep the comments coming in. I'll keep going through them as we go along. So let's go to the start. Bristol City away, the 3-1 win. I mean, that was a great start to the season, wasn't it? Let's be honest, guys. It was a fantastic start. I think we were all absolutely buzzing with that. Maybe because on certain elements better, but it's a good start, wasn't it? 3-1 win against Bristol City, and it made a nice solid start to the season. Ben White had his debut. Ben White was absolutely fantastic on his debut. Obviously, moments of magic off Pablo. Paddy Bamford puts in a top performance after a disappointing pre-season, and things look really good. Jack Harrison got himself a goal, so a good positive pre-season. And then after the Bristol City game, we go on to the Forest game, the 1-1 draw. Obviously that was disappointing. The performance was relatively good, but again, we had a daft moment at the end of the game. We missed big chances, but we missed big chances, didn't we, in that game against Forest? And then we had that daft moment for some of the goals. Just some daft moments for the goal. Lewis grabbing. And yeah, it cost us the game. Forest were poor on the day, and we could have got something from it. We could have really got something from it. That's definitely 3 points. That could have been 6 points out of 6, but 4 points out of 6 wasn't too bad. Then we had the cup game, of course, against Salford, where for the first 40-45 minutes, until Eddie Nketiah got his first goal for us, I thought we were pretty poor in that game, to be honest. I have to be honest. I know it was a 3-0 win, but for the first 40 minutes, we really struggled. But then we were clinical in that game, so it's a bit weird, really. Some games have been clinical, some games we haven't been. Some games has been signs of the second half of last season. Other games have been clinical and put in really professional performances. But look, 13 points from 6 games is good. There's no denying that. That's good. If we maintain that for the whole season, we'll get promoted. Absolutely no doubt about it. 2 points per game pretty much guarantees automatic promotion. There's not been a case where it hasn't led to automatic promotion. Even 92 points, whether it's enough for the title or not, I don't really care. But if we do maintain that, then brilliant. But look, at the end of the day, it's 6 games. The only real team we played who's up there at the minute is Swansea, and we've lost that game. So you have to have worries about that. You have to say, is there a mental block on this team when it comes to playing the top teams at home? And look, it might be a little bit early to call Swansea a top team, but they look really good to me. Maybe not in terms of performance, but in terms of organisation. I thought the spine of the team looks good. Good goalkeeper, Freddie Woodman, made an excellent save in the game. Mike van der Hoorn and Rodon, good defenders, good defenders. Conor mentioned them as 2 potential replacements for Pontus Jansson, all the way back in July. Van der Hoorn's a massively impressive player. I thought he was impressive last season, and you're worried by that. I think another thing Colin's been touching on since sort of the game, that are we pressing from the front well enough? Really? We're allowing defenders like Van der Hoorn to have too much joy, too much space to roam into. And when you have that, it creates the overloads in our half of the pitch, and it causes problems. It really just causes problems, when we have that kind of issue, with midfield, midfielders able to push up, defenders having all that space to run into. And maybe the question has to be asked of Paddy Bamford. As much as Paddy Bamford had an excellent start to the season and is rightfully being nominated for Championship Player of the Month for me in terms of goals, it's a strange one, isn't it, really? When you say from that point of view, can you criticise Paddy Bamford, really? But I think we do need to press better from the front. I do think we need to be more aggressive in that press from the front. Not allow defenders like Van der Hoorn Trying to think of other centre backs we've had. Not, to be fair, we've not really seen it so much this season, but last season we definitely did. You know, John Egan, Tyrone Mings had far too much joy carrying the ball out. Can we do that element of our game better? Can we finish games better as well? Can we? You know, I've been a little bit disappointed on with finished games in general. You know, it's a tough one. You know, an early comment's just coming now. LUFC, we can't press like last season because we've burned out by Christmas. We'll have lost a lot, and that is a key concern. You know, in terms of managing the fitness. You know, we're not finishing games as well. Look, I don't want to be too negative. I really don't want to be too negative, because you know, at the end of the day, it's been a great start to the season. But there are warning signs there that in terms of pushing on, we really do need to improve certain elements. You know, absolutely no denying about that. We have to improve certain elements of our game to achieve automatic promotion. Whether 13 points for 6 games is a good start or not, there are signs there we have to improve. Every team has to improve in this league. So, you know, we can't just single ourselves out for that. And I think a big thing as well I want to touch on is team selection. I think it's something all three of us have spoken about, team selection. How are we getting Helder Costa in this team to start games? And, you know, it'd be interesting. Most of the comments early doors have said we need Helder Costa into the team. You know, we do need Helder Costa into the team. There's no denying that at all. You know, I think Helder Costa is that player who can create moments of magic. You know, when you look at it in the team so far at the minute, only really Pablo and Click on his day. Mateus Click on his day is definitely someone who can produce moments of magic, game-winning moments out of absolutely nothing. But other than that, I think we're struggling. You know, I think we are struggling for players who can create those moments of magic. I don't think Jack Harrison or Adam Forshaw are those players, you know, in terms of the players behind Patrick Bamford. Some of the touchdowns, in my view, that they're not getting enough goals. So you look at it, Mateus Click is out of form at the minute, so I don't think we can rely on him too much at the moment. So you look at that and you think, it's only really Pablo Hernandez. If you bring in Helder Costa, it gives a different element to the team. You know, it's someone who can cut in onto his left foot and just hit the ball, you know, from 30, 40 yards and score goals. You know, simple as it sounds, he can create moments of magic. You know, easy assists, easy tap-in chances. You know, we saw it against Salford, against Brentford. He comes alive in that box, and that's something we need. We do need that element of our game. Yeah, I think we do need that kind of player who's got a little bit more pace in the team. I think that's very, very important at the minute. I'm just going to look at your comments on my phone, which I just got up here as well. So guys, make sure you keep the comments coming in. Just want to see the live chat if I can. You have to bear with us, guys. Just trying to find the live comments popping up here. Sorry guys, I can't get the comments to load now. But guys, keep the comments coming in anyway. I'll try that again in a second. In fact, I'll tell you what I might do. Actually, that's not going to work. But guys, keep the comments coming in. I might have missed a few at the start there. I apologise for that, guys. I just can't see any comments here. Sorry about that, guys. Not sure if it's just on the phone, it's not loading properly. But anyway, keep the comments coming in, guys, and I'll just read them live. Rudy LUFC, Anita. So Vernon Anita, Conor Shaughnessy, and Lawrence de Bock have all left the club today. I don't think anyone really remembered that any of the three still play for the football club. It was only really Conor Shaughnessy I thought maybe at one point, sort of about a year or so ago, that I thought had good potential. But look, he's never really shown that since a decent little start at Leeds. I'm not really too fussed on that one. Vernon Anita, Lawrence de Bock were both absolutely horrific signs, if we're being totally honest. You know, I think they both admit to that. You know, both played left back, both had absolute nightmares at left back. You know, I think Vernon Anita just massively struggled at left back, to say the least. I can't really think of any good games from him. And Lawrence de Bock, I think, played 7 games and we conceded 16 goals. So, you know, it's one of those. I don't wish any harm on any of them. You know, they all tried hard. And I wish them all the best, absolutely, definitely. And de Bock has done well to get himself a club like Sunderland. There's just been said in the comments there. You know, he has done really well to get that kind of signing. You know, I think if he does well there, then fair play to him. You know, I would like to think he could do a job in League One. But yeah, I mean, it's a good move for him, really. You know, obviously Conor Shawnesy's gone to Mansfield. Seb Streams is asking now, Oscar Fave, Leeds player of all time. So again, it's still a relatively young age. In terms of my personal all-time Leeds favourite, that's been my. It's tough. Put me on the spot there a little bit. In terms of all-time favourite, in terms of probably Lucas Radby, to be fair. In terms of players who get you to support the club, it has to be Lucas Radby for me. You know, in terms of passion, ability, technical ability, dominance in the air. just so proactive to situations. If he hadn't have had the injuries, he would have been probably one of the best Premier League defenders of all time. Would have been acknowledged as one of the best Premier League defenders of all time. It's just the chief, as Seb Stream says. LUFK says 876. Says, I can't read out the first player, mate. I'm just not reading out the first player. But for Duca, as much as the first player was an unbelievable talent, I just can't bring myself to acknowledge that, I'm afraid. But yeah, Mark Viduka, what a player as well. I mean, he was probably the first person that came into my head. But in terms of all-round heroes, what the journey Lucas Radby went on, he stayed with us to the Championship. Unbelievable player, unbelievable. But as NYGG32 says, we've got to beat Charlton. That is a big game, that Charlton. Obviously Charlton are second on the table at the minute. Full credit to Lee Bowyer. What a job he's done there. I'd be surprised if he isn't the championship manager of the month, to be honest. Alex Bruce has been mentioned by Russ Mason. I'm not sure about that, mate. I'm not sure about that. He was decent some games, but just average, really. Rob Kennedy, David Batty. What a player David Batty was. Slightly before my time. I did see little bits of him, but that was sort of when David Batty wasn't quite at his best, just before retirement. Sort of like we're talking sort of the early 2000s here. Wasn't quite at his best. Strachan, as Midge 22 says as well. But yeah, just going to Charlton as well. That's a big game now, isn't it? End of September, and it's a really tough month. Barnsley away, Derby at home, Charlton away, and then West Brom at home right at the start of next month. That is a really tough 4 games, and then of course our best friends from down south, the Barnsley boys, Millwall away as well on the 5th of October. So that is one tough 5 games, and it's all right. Well and good saying 13 points out of the first 6 is good. We've got a right challenge there to maintain that kind of form in the next 5 games. I think that after those 11 games, that is a big indicator for me. After those 11 games, where we're at then, if we've got ourselves onto 25, 23, 25 points and fair play, we are the real deal. But really, that's going to be a big test. We have to admit, we're probably going to drop some points there. If we're being realistic, it's a Championship. It's a really tough run of games, that. Absolutely no doubt about it at all. It's going to be a tough run of games, that. But guys, keep the comments coming in anyway. Rudy LUFC, where does Sabicki go? I'm not actually too sure where Pavel Sabicki went. I'm not actually too sure, to be honest. There was a rumour at one point that he could potentially be coming back into the fold. I think he was the only player who did well out on loan. Liam has asked Dallas or Aylin. So this is tough. This is a tough one, this, isn't it? I think on current form, I'd go Stuart Dallas. But in terms of all-round ability, I'd go Luke Ayling. I think Luke Ayling is one of the best footballers at this club, in terms of all-round ability, going forward, defensively, ability on the ball. But I personally, thinking about this, I wouldn't mind seeing both play. I think no one's really grabbed that left-back spot yet. I don't think between Douglas and Alioski. I think both being a little bit inconsistent to start with. I honestly would say now this is kind of an exclusive, if we go into that Barnsley game with everyone fully fit, I think I'd personally go Luke Ayling right back, Stuart Dallas left back. And my thinking on that is, you can't stop Stuart Dallas. Stuart Dallas has probably been the best player at the club so far this season. And I prefer Luke Ayling to Barry Douglas. I think Luke Ayling's a little bit more consistent, better defensively, and got better ability. I do think you can get both in the team. I genuinely do. I think that Stuart Dallas was amazing at left back last season, putting some amazing performances, and he's proven you can play at left back. Okay, he's a right-footed playing at left back. Might not get the same kind of width going out wide, going forward in that lot. But I think Stuart Dallas has really proven himself. He can cut in on his right foot. He can still put sort of in swinging crosses into the box. He can still make things happen. Okay, it's a little bit more difficult than him playing at right back, but I think that can definitely work. I'd be interested to see if that happens at all. Russ Vernon, best team when all available for you. And Seb Streams has also asked me, Dallas' current form looks better at wing back. And obviously Dallas and Alioski being wing back players. So just to start off with, obviously this best team for me when everyone's fit. It's a tough one. I think if you go on current form and the whole season overall, I think you definitely have to have Kiko in there. I'd still have Luke Ayling at right back, and left back would be a battle between Stuart Dallas and Barry Douglas. I think obviously on current form I'd go Stuart Dallas. But I think in terms of all-round impact on the team, that's probably the toughest one to decide, left back. But it would be Dallas or Douglas. I don't think Alioski. I think Alioski's done well at left back, but I don't think he's the same kind of player I don't think he brings the same kind of ability on the ball as a Dallas or Douglas at left back. Centre backs, absolutely no doubt about it. Ben White, Liam Cooper. Holding midfield, Calvin Phillips. Got to keep that triangle in front of Kiko the same for me. On the right hand side, I had to go Helder Costa. Left hand side, Pablo. I'd have to go Pablo on the left, so that's a real threat for me. Obviously, got the pace and trickery of Costa. You've got the technical ability of Hernandez. Both players who can make things happen. Both players who are probably sort of between them at least double figures kind of players. Players that can get 10, 12 goals a season easily. And then through the middle, I go Mateusz Klich playing sort of the 8, Tyler Roberts in the 10, and then up top it's quite a tough one again. But I don't think there's it's a tough one to decide. It depends on the game for me between Bamford and Nketiah. I think in games where teams are playing high lines, not got much pace at the back, I'd go Nketiah. In games where it's a little bit different, I'd go probably Patrick Bamford. But I think that's one where, again, like left back, there's not really an obvious solution. But for me, that would be the team I'd go with. A 4-1-4-1, Garcia, Ayling, White, Cooper, Douglas or Dallas, left backs, Calvin Phillips, Costa on the right, Klich, Roberts, Hernandez on the left, Bamford or Nketiah up top. Now, I've just been quite asked about Adam Forshaw. I apologise, guys, I can't read out your names because the comments are coming up so quickly and disappearing. I don't know why I can't see the live chat. In fact, I'm just going to try something else as we go along, but just got asked about Adam Forshaw there. Now, Adam Forshaw is a player I like a lot, and I mean I like a lot. I think he's a top player. But it's one of those really with Adam Forshaw. It's I think obviously when we play Adam Forshaw, you have to play Klich higher up. Klich has to play a different role. In fact, I can see the chat now, guys. I apologise for that before. I couldn't see the chat. So Seb Streams asked, how can you drop Forshaw? It's a perfectly fair question. I think Forshaw's been one probably better than Klich this season, but I think in terms of all-round ability, I'd go Klich still. I do really like Adam Forshaw in certain games, in the big games, where we've got to do a little bit more defending than we would like. I'd probably pick Adam Forshaw. I'd certainly bring on Adam Forshaw in most games. I think Adam Forshaw is one of those players. I think he's one of the most important players in the team in terms of balance and that, in terms of bringing the maturity to this game, experience. He's probably our most experienced player in terms of playing at this level. But yeah, don't take it as me not liking Adam Forshaw. I thought he played well on Saturday again. But the thing with Adam Forshaw is you're not going to get goals. You're not going to get goals or much creativity. You're going to get good ball retention, good awareness. Someone who can dictate a football match, but you're not going to get many goals like you would with Klich or Roberts for me. And I do like him. I do really like Adam Forshaw. But for me, most games I like Klich and Roberts in there. I like the variation you have between them. I think in the 4-1-4-1, your midfielders have got to offer more than ball retention in most games. I think in certain situations I would bring in Adam Forshaw, but in most games I would go with Roberts and Klich in the middle for me. But yeah, Lee Wilson. If a team in the second was doing a hit and run job on us, it shows how good we really are. Only team in the league who look destined for Premier League football. I think we are on the right track. I think if we maintain this for the season in terms of performances, we should get there. But there are warning signs there against the top teams. We've not played many particular teams who are on form at the minute. Only really Swansea. You could say Forest, Bristol City, but they weren't at the time when we played them. I think they're totally different teams now compared to when we played them in the first 2 weeks. But yeah, there are warning signs there. I think defensively we're doing really well. But let's be honest, we're not going to maintain the defensive record we've got so far. I don't think any team's going to maintain that. So we are going to have to accept in some games we're going to concede goals with the attacking way we play. But I think with Cooper and White there, you've got a defensive base there that's going to keep a lot of clean sheets. Calvin Phillips in front of them, if we keep him fully fit, then yeah, we've got a real chance. We've got a real chance with that defensive base. Because Kiko, I want to see a little bit more consistency for Kiko. Obviously, his last couple of games he's done well. But I want to see that little bit more consistency from him now. More 7, 8 out of 10 performances, not costing us games. It's something. I still have my worries about Kiko on crosses as well. But I think obviously look at Kiko. I think he's only going to get better and better as he adapts to the league. A bit more physicality. Certainly when balls are coming to the box and strikers are trying to get in front of him, I think he's getting more and more used to it. I think you're seeing less and less of the errors, but there's still elements of Kiko's game to improve on. I think he's getting more mature in terms of coming off his line. I think that's improved as well. I think the fullbacks are getting forward well. Maybe a slight question marks on the left back at the minute. Neither are quite playing to the full capabilities yet. Barry Douglas has had a bad last couple of games. Alioski, again, I'm not sure if he's a long-term option at left back. Maybe move Stuart Dallas into that position. Who knows? I think Barry Douglas is a top player, but at the minute he doesn't quite look fully fit. I don't think he's quite fully recovered from that slight injury he had last a couple of weeks ago after the Wigan game. But yeah, I think that's what I'd say. I think obviously going forward, Paddy Bamford's got 4 and 6. Eddie Nketiah looks like scoring, so I don't think we've got any problems there in terms of strikers. Out wide, I think we've got plenty of options. It's just about picking the right options for the right games, which is something I think we will do. Obviously, the midfield, we've got some great midfielders at the club, and I think we've got a good variation. I don't think if we can't go up with this team, we can't go up. Let's be honest. I'm being quite honest now. I don't think being brutally honest. You've got to be asking massive question marks if you can't get this team. If this team can't get itself pushing for more steps of promotion, it absolutely, unless there's a massive injury crisis, I do genuinely think that. Rudy, LUFC, Roberts or Adam Forshaw, and they're all on form. So yeah, I think what Rudy's saying there is that's probably the main sort of debate scenario, in terms of alongside Mateus Click, where you go for the creativity of Tyler Roberts or the guile and sort of experience of Adam Forshaw. And I think it does depend on the game, to be honest. I do think it depends on the game, the situation and that loss. And yeah, I don't think it's good to have sort of just a starting 11. I think it is good to have competition. I think every top team needs competition in certain positions. Okay, certain players are undroppable, certain players are on good form, but I think in most teams you have to have sort of 3 or 4 positions where there's a big debate. There's a lot of competition going on and players are on the toes and that lot. Seb Streams, just in reply to my sort of response to the Adam Forshaw question about why I'd probably not have Adam Forshaw in our most preferred starting 11. Adam is a quality player and looks very classy. I think he'll be great in the Prem too. Now Adam Forshaw has been played really well in the Prem before with Middlesbrough. He actually came really close to winning an England cap not so long ago, only 3 years ago this was. So he's played for Everton as well. Came through the Everton Academy. He has got class on the ball, there's absolutely no doubt about it. I think he's one of our best players in terms of getting out of the tight spaces, very technically gifted. I just want to see that little bit more creativity and goals off Adam Forshaw. I know it's not something he's been known for in his career, but I do want to see that little bit more composure, in front of goal, or in terms of creating chances and that lot. Midge 22, we were top, now 3rd, and we need to stay in touch with 2nd till Christmas, then kick on instead of falling apart like last season. I think it's just the way it runs sometimes in the Championship. It's not really very consistent, is it? I think obviously teams drop from 1st to 3rd, quite a lot, or go even lower down. It is sort of a yo-yo situation with the Championship most times. You don't see many teams sort of run away with it. I think sort of like Norwich and Wolves in the past. I don't see that kind of situation happening again this season. I don't think it's going to be very competitive from now to the start of May, really, in terms of the league. And it would be nice if we can keep in touch there or keep ourselves, ahead of the rest. I think really with the first 6 games, I think it could have made a case of us winning all 6 games. I think in terms of the performances, but we've cost ourselves, in some of the games. I think certainly in the Forest and Swansea games, we only cost ourselves. We did enough in the games to win. We had bad moments. We didn't have that composure in front of goal. We made mistakes on the goal, and we cost ourselves in those games. And if we'd won those games, we'd be top easily. But it's the way it goes sometimes. It's the way it goes. We're playing well. We are playing well. We're creating chances. There's absolutely no denying that at all. Liam and It's Sam, YouTube, LUFC, are both reckoning that Fulham are going to win the league, or going to be... Sorry, Liam said Fulham will 100% win the league, as brackets, as they should with their team. It's Sam, LUFC, YouTube has said Fulham will be very strong as well. Yeah, I have to agree with that. I think Fulham look good. I think they looked good the other night against Cardiff. I think obviously the 10-man situation massively changed the game. I think there was only one winner at that point, probably a 2-1 Fulham, but obviously it finished 1-1. It's a decent point away at Cardiff with 10 men. Defensively defending quite well. Alfie Mawson's a good player at this level. Very, very good defender at this level, in fact. It'll be interesting. Obviously, Tom Kearney, top player. Harrison Reed's a good signing. And you look at that front 3, wow, that front 3. Ivan Cavallero on the left, Anthony Knockaert on the right, Alexander Mitrovic through the middle. That's a top front 3. One thing I will say about Fulham is I don't think they've got that much strength and depth. I don't think they've got that many sort of bench options. They have got some options, but I'm not sure they've got sort of the same kind of depth as ourselves. I think we have got a lot of depth, to be fair. We've got 4 wingers, 2 strikers, plenty of centre mids. We might not have the biggest squads, but we have got a squad of quality, which is the main thing. We have got plenty of different options. So it'll be interesting. That I think Swansea, from what I've seen of them, I think they are going to push. I know they weren't at their best on Saturday, but that's a bit quite telling, really. They kept themselves in the game. They showed that other element to the game, that they can do the ugly part of the game well and defend when they had to. Any other comments coming in? Quite a lot of comments, actually. I'm quite far behind on the comments. Gibson says, MB said he would try and play 2 up top. Now is the time. He has to find a way to play 2. Pablo needs rest in this season. Apart from a few quality assists, he's well below par. I wouldn't say well below par. I just don't think he's quite at the level he was of last season. I think last season he was absolutely incredible. We were too reliant on him at times last season. I thought he was the best player in the league for long periods of last season. Certainly the most creative player in the league for long periods of last season. And yeah, I mean, he's still got himself 2 goals, 2 assists in the first 6 games, which is very, very credible. If he can maintain that, he's definitely going to be well up there again. He's going to get us well up there. So I definitely think we need to keep Pablo in the team as much as we can. What I don't want to see is Pablo moving inside. I don't think Pablo's a good inside. I don't think it suits his game as well. I think he's built his career on being a winger or a wise playmaker, if you like. I don't think he's good going inside. I don't think it works as well even in the 10 role. I just prefer him on the right or left for me. I think he's a much better player on either side. But yeah, I think it's a fair point. He's not quite at last season's levels. Just to remind myself on the rest of the comments. 2 up top as well. Now 2 up top, it's an interesting one. We've seen it once against Brentford. It won us the game. I think I would like to see it more often if we can. I think maybe on Saturday, in hindsight, there was an opportunity to go 4-4-2 towards the end of the game. You'll obviously bring off Click and put on Nketiah, and then have Forshaw and Phillips sort of holding. Maybe it's not the most creative midfields, but it allows the wingers to push on and maybe get supply into the 2 strikers. I know it's not quite kind of our system, but I do think we need to find that different sort of element to our play. If we build a 3-5-2, then excellent. Or if it needs to be one behind the other, no problem with that at all. It's just trying to find that system. I think last season we tried it too much with Roofe and Bamford. I think Roofe was clearly better up top. Bamford was clearly better up top, and it never really worked when we tried to get them both in the same team. We played Roofe in the 10, Bamford ahead of him. It never really looked convincing, to be honest. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see if we can do that. It's Sam, YouTube, LUFC. Annoying thing is, Barnsley have had a good start to the season and will be full of confidence. I think the last couple of games haven't been so good for them. I think they've been playing well. They've dropped a couple of points recently, and I think they are sort of bottom of the table. But I think, obviously, Barnsley, they've lost a lot of players and they're playing good football. It's going to be a massive test, this. There's going to be a team we're going to try and play very similar to ourselves. They're certainly going to attack us. There's no defensive football with Barnsley at all. I really like Daniel Stendel. I think he's a top manager. One of the best managers in the league for me. I think he certainly plays some of the best football in the league. It's going to be a great football game. Obviously, you've got people like Alex Marriot and Malik Wilkes. Players who can create moments. It's interesting, really. I've not seen enough of Barnsley to truly comment. But I think in a Yorkshire derby, in this kind of situation, when we're going to attack them as well and give them spaces to attack in, in terms of how we push the fullbacks, it could be a really tough game. It could be a really tough game. It's a game that I think if we want to achieve top 2 this season, it's a game we need to either win or get something from. It's something we have to get something from this game at least. We can't afford to lose this game because it's not good enough. If we want top 2 for me. Jaggy Babs at it again. Alioski deserves a place. His sexiness is really distracting for our opponents. Oh, yeah, to be fair, he's a good-looking lad, this Alioski. I think it's a good-looking team, to be honest, isn't it? To be honest, it is a good-looking team. But yeah, Alioski in that corner flag in the first half, how he got a free kick out of that is magician kind of stuff, isn't it? Let's be honest. But look, I've not always been Alioski's biggest fan. A lot of people pick up on that. But it doesn't mean I don't like him. I just think he's a player who doesn't excel in one position kind of thing. He's more of a utility player for me. And he does a job when he plays. He was okay on Saturday. He had 2 good games before that. He could do a job at left back, but he wouldn't be first choice left back for me. Or a first choice winger. He'd just be an option to bring off the bench, depending on the situation. If we're chasing the game, maybe put him to full back. If he's trying to close out a game, use his pressing ability, his energy on the wing to try and cover his full backs as well. He's a good option to have in that kind of sense. So, any other comments? Sean Kirk, Barnsley have started well, but we may benefit from it being away. With their fans still hating us that much, I think they'll urge Barnsley to try and go toe to toe with us and we will rip them apart, I reckon. I think it may suit us. If a team does go toe-to-toe against us, it does free up the spaces. But I think with that, we have to go a bit more pace in the team. Maybe starting Costa, hopefully getting Tyler Roberts back fully fit, if he is available. I'm not sure if he is or isn't available. And yeah, I think if they play that high line against us, we've got the quality and pace to take advantage of that. We had certain elements of that against Swansea and other teams. We just need to take full advantage and really make the most of our opportunities, I think, in those kind of games. And Sean Kirk actually follows on to say, I doubt they'll just sit back at their place. I highly doubt that, to be honest. I think they're going to attack us. I think it's the way Stendhal plays. I don't think he plays defensive football. I think he really does want that high press. All his players to be in our half of the pitch as possible. Certainly pushing the full-backs forward at least, and very much sort of having just the two defenders, whoever it may be. It may even be Apo Helm. So I think if you got pace around Apo Helm, we can create situations from that. I don't think Apo Helm likes pace. He certainly didn't seem to like pace in his few games for us. I think he likes the aerial challenges. I think he's got a lot of height. He's dominant in the air. But I think in terms of pace, short strikers, I think he struggles against some more short wingers coming inside, short forwards, etc., etc. I think they cause problems for him. If Apo Helm's playing, by the way. But yeah, a lot of love for Adam Forshaw, to be fair. I hope it didn't come across like that. I do really like Adam Forshaw. I think in that 8 role he's done well. Rudy LUFC, is it me or I was not that mad when Swansea won, but I was mad when Nottingham got a draw, and I think we should have played Paddy and Eddie. I was mad at both, to be honest, mate. I was really mad. I think both games were there to win. I think to do it twice in 3 home games is really disappointing. 4 points from three home games isn't good enough. We have to be honest with that. We have to be totally honest with that. It isn't good enough. If we want to get promoted, we have to make sure that home form's good. No team's ever got promoted through having average home form, so we have to make sure we can score more goals at home. It's 2 goals at home. We need more than that. We do simply need more than that. I'm confident we'll get more than that. I'm absolutely 100% confident we'll get more than that. I think you saw some of our home forms last season, but yeah, I think it's something that has to improve, and I was frustrated with both really. But yeah, a few criticisms for Patrick Bamford in the chat, a bit of defending on Patrick Bamford as well. I can't have any complaints with Paddy Bamford so far. He missed that chance against Swansea, he missed a couple of chances against Forest, but 4 goals in 6 games is more than good enough. It's almost on course for 30 goals in the season. Okay, he might not maintain that for the whole season, but for now, I can't have any complaints with Patrick Bamford. What I would say is, if 4 goals in 6 games from your striker isn't enough, in terms of getting the full team functioning, then the problem isn't the striker. The problem is the players around him aren't doing enough. The players aren't contributing enough behind him. I've already said this, in the post-match review yesterday. Our front 4 currently behind Bamford are all talented. We're all playing, their own kind of styles. They're all talented players, but they're not doing enough collectively at the minute. It's 3 goals in 6 games. That's not enough. I think Paddy Bamford is doing his job. 4 goals in 6 games. If that's not enough over a season, sort of 2 every 3. 2 and 3, then we're not doing enough as a team. We have to do more. But in fact, Wilf Grant disagrees with me on that. He says you're talking rubbish. 4 goals from 80 shots is rubbish. Look, I do think Paddy Bamford needs to be more clinical. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying what I will say is that Paddy Bamford's movement is better than most strikers in this league. His link-up play is better than most strikers in this league for me, if not the best in sort of both kind of areas. I do think he needs to be more clinical in terms of chances, but again, you've got Eddie Nketiah who's scoring plenty of goals as well. So if a team's coming up short, for me, I don't think it's down to the strikers. Both are scoring at a healthy rate. In terms of minutes a goal, it's good. I think that's all you can really judge a striker on. In fact, Shaggy Babs just come in and said Harrison deserves to stick, not Bamford. Now, I don't want to single out individuals. That's absolutely not what I'm going to do. I think Harrison has improved this season, but I think it comes from those kind of areas behind Bamford where we're lacking at the minute. I think the defence is doing its job. We just need that few more goals from the players behind there. I think obviously Mateusz Klich isn't playing at his absolute best at the minute, and that is kind of hurting us at the minute. Demar Facey, Eddie is a better striker than Bamford. He needs about 100 chances to score. Now look, that's not necessarily what I've said. I do rate Bamford as a striker, but I'm not necessarily he's the best finisher in the world. He isn't the best finisher in the league. But what he does do is get himself into these positions. He consistently gets himself into positions. Even when we're not playing well, he gets himself into those areas, and that's what I really like about Bamford. Okay, he's missing chances. Look, he has missed chances, but if he maintains what he's doing at the minute, I'd be more than happy. I'd be more than happy with that. I don't think you can have too many criticisms. That's just my personal opinion. But of course, I do think Eddie Nketiah brings that different element. I think he's probably a slightly better finisher, has a bit more pace. Would I say he's better than Bamford? I'm not too sure yet. I'm not seeing enough of either player. I like both players. I don't think it needs to be a case of who's better than the other. I think one suits certain games better, the other suits other games better. I don't think it has to be one's better than the other. I think it, to an extent, could be a championship version of Aguero and Jesus, Gabriel Jesus. It doesn't have to be a case of one's better than the other, one's crap and the other's brilliant. It doesn't have to be that. Both can be good. Both can come on in certain situations. It doesn't have to be a negative kind of point of view from that. I'm not I don't want to come across as being arrogant there. It's just my opinion on that. I don't think we need to make it a negative thing. I think certainly on social media it's been made out. If you like one, you don't like the other. I think it's perfectly acceptable to like both. I think it's good if we can rotate between the two for me. Any other comments in here? LUFC forever. Eddie will eventually start. I have no doubt about that. I think it is going to be a good battle between them all season. I think one's going to go off form, the other's going to go on form, and that's a good thing. We have the option to replace him. So yeah, that could well happen. Gail Dale, it's 20 goals plus for Bamford if he keeps this up, and that's more than enough for me. It's more than, if that's not enough, then it's the rest of the team that's fallen short. If 25 goals isn't enough over a season, then the question marks have to be asked for the rest of the team for me. The rest of the team's coming short, or we're doing something else wrong. If that's not enough, then the signs are there. The signs aren't good for me. Seb Streams, no one deserves stick. It's going to help them. It's going to help them play better. You should support them. Bielsa is too loyal at times, but he knows best. I do think, loyalty. I think in terms of team selection, maybe we could change things quicker against Swansea. Certainly saw Swansea. They were very, very much. Obviously, Boya Baston wasn't playing well. Ayew got taken off. And I was trying to think who else got taken off. Yandanda got taken off. They all played a lot of minutes this season and been crucial to Swansea's top end of the table. Push so far, or top of the table push if you like. And they got taken off with sort of 20 minutes to go. So there's no loyalty there. They made the changes and they won the game. I do think that, Conor touched on that a lot in his review. I think we have got to make changes from time to time. But a lot of different opinions on Bamford. It's just my opinion on it, guys. Of course, last season I was very critical of Bamford. I didn't think Bamford had a good season last season. He had a good goal record, but he wasn't doing enough in other elements of his game. But I think now his movement's better, his link-up play's better, he's getting more goals. I think he's doing well for me, Bamford. That's just my personal opinion. I think his attitude's much better. I think he's doing well. I think it's only really one game without a goal. We can't get too carried away on that. He wasn't at his best on Saturday. But strikers aren't going to score every game, that's the thing. You don't get any strikers in this level who are going to score every game for me. And I think if 25 goals, which Bamford's roughly currently on course for, isn't enough, then it's a worry then for me. I think it's the rest of the team that's not performing rather than Bamford himself. Demar Facey, Bielsa needs to realise loyalty doesn't get you promoted. Now, in terms of keeping the balance of the team right, I think Bielsa wants to, not make that many changes, and that's commendable, definitely commendable, because you can see that understanding, the chemistry in the team, the understanding. I don't think any team sort of has that understanding that we have. That's not an arrogance thing. I do genuinely think the understanding between players, fullback to winger, on both sides, holding midfielder to centre midfielder. You see that awareness. You do see that awareness between them. The understanding in that, and I think that comes from they all play pretty much week in week out the same kind of team. Or if there is a change, it's only one change at the absolute most. Two if there's injuries. That is the case, and that's the reason I think Bielsa doesn't want to make too many changes. I do think in the middle of games we could make different kinds of substitutions, but I'm not going to criticise Bielsa. I think it's 6 games where we played well enough to win every single game. So for me, I think it's down to more individuals and the team collectively defensively or taking chances that have to take responsibility for that. But 13 points from 6 games is good, guys. Let's not deny that. Let's not get too carried away. That is good. But I would like to see more rotation in the team, because I think in terms of fitness-wise, I think maintaining that same kind of team of 46 games a season, 46 games, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Let's be honest. Keeping that kind of energy in the team, in the press, the high energy football we're trying to play. I do think we need to rotate more from time to time. It's probably the only thing I would say. I trust Bielsa. I do trust Bielsa 100%. We're not seeing training. We're not seeing our players are training. It's things to bear in mind, and it's the chemistry of the team that's important. If Costa comes in eventually, it'll be after 2-3 months of solid training with Bielsa. When he comes in, he'll be fully fit and ready to play. Let's see the comments coming in. Emmett, Oliver, where's Joe? Joe is unfortunately having a lot of trouble with his internet. He's having currently in between houses at the moment, so he's having a bit of an internet situation. So he has passed this one on to myself, but he should be back next week, mate, on that one. He better be back next week anyway. Damar Facey. In fact, no, actually, I haven't actually read that comment, guys. Sorry, I've lost track there, Damar. Craig Stone, we're averaging 2 points a game so far this season. That should be more than enough. If we continue to do that, as Craig Stone goes on to say, we should go up. At the end of the day, we should go up, and we will go up. But it's a case of maintaining that. The signs are there, early doors, that it's going to be more challenging. I've already read out those next 5 games: Barnsley away, Derby at home, Charlton away, West Brom at home, Millwall away. I've done well to remember that, to be fair. It's going to be more of a challenge. I think the next 5 games, making it 11 games for the season, they're going to be a bigger indicator. We'll be a quarter of the way through the season. We'll see where we're up to. I think we really will see where we're up to then. Definitely. Jaggy Babs. Jaggy Babs is a troublemaker, I love him to bits, but he is a troublemaker at times. Funny how whenever we lose, his internet goes down. It's a fair shout. It's a fair shout, to be fair, mate. As to the Forest games, when it's just a coincidence, guys. Don't worry about that. Joe, all of us, if we win, lose or draw, we're always there for you guys. We're always there trying to create content. So don't worry about that, guys. Even if we lose every game between now and the end of the season, we will be there producing videos. So, guys, don't worry about that. Sometimes perception out of fan channels, some fan channels prefer it when they lose. Some fan channels, won't produce videos when they lose. It's just one of those perceptions. But yeah, it's one of those things anyway, guys. But we can promise you, we will always be there. Win, lose or draw. The Smiths Elvis. Hi Oscar. According to Howard Wilkinson, one of the flaws of Bielsa ball is that you need top quality players to deliver that type of football. It's a fair observation, wouldn't you say? Yeah, I think to get it absolutely at its free-flowing best, you do need top players. I think last season we needed the top players. Pablo, Mateus Click, probably the 2 best flair players last season. They made it happen. They had that individual quality, the awareness of the pass. I think Mateus Click was able to dictate a lot of football matches last season. I thought he was absolutely superb last season. Pablo with his individual creativity. He had that last season. We had obviously Conor Roof on top form. We had players on top form. Obviously Pontus Jansson and Liam Cooper formed a solid centre-back pairing. Luke Cade and Barry Douglas as full-backs. We do have quality players for me. I think we do have quality players for this level. And I think it's important. I think it's an important part of Bielsa ball. I think it'd be more difficult to get Charlton and say, I was trying to think another team who's up there at the minute. Team will come to me. Trying to think of a team who's up there who's surprising us so far this season. Say Birmingham, for example, Charlton or Birmingham. They've got good players, but I think it'd be more difficult to try and implement that style of football in terms of Bielsa ball for them. But I think it's what works for us, and I think Bielsa ball works absolutely perfectly. In terms of coaching the players available, I think it works absolutely fantastically well. In terms of good balance, in terms of fitness, absolutely 100%. But guys, keep the comments coming in. I think a couple came flying in then. Tamar Facey, Oscar, you're back to school in the morning. I wish, mate, I wish. I wish I was that young, to be honest, mate, but unfortunately not. Slow, steady Steve. Costa is our key to promotion, Oscar, in my opinion. That's definitely a fair point, that, Steve. I think Costa is absolutely critical, in terms of, as Smith's Elvis was saying, you need top quality individual players. I think Costa adds to that. I think he has that bit more pace to the team. If there's something that's important in Bielsa ball is pace, in the wide areas. Players who can take on the fullback and get crossed into the box or make things happen at pace. Pace. It is important. It's important in any game. In terms of intense style of football, you need that pace in your team. And I think Costa does bring that. I think and it's not just pace, he brings great end products as well. And it's something we can't deny. You can take on this fullback. And all round, I think he's a top winger at this level. We just need to get him in the team. And we get him in the team, and I think we are a different proposition in terms of the wide areas. And yeah, it's an interesting one, really. Sean Kirk as well, just going to read the comment down here. It's weird this season because overall we've been solid defensively, only 3 goals conceded in 6 games, but yet those 3 goals have all been sloppy and avoidable. And yeah, it's something I touched on in the reviews of all 3 games. It's Ben White and Liam Cooper have been absolutely fantastic this season, absolute defensive rocks. Calvin's protected well, the fullbacks have defended well. I think it's just more as a team, we've not defended those situations very well. We haven't defended those situations very well at all. We've left big areas open. Against Bristol City, it was a soft goal we conceded. We left big areas between our defence and back line. We just need to organise that a bit better. Forest, again, as a team, we didn't defend that situation well enough. And against Swansea, we didn't defend the situation well enough. We weren't aggressive enough in the second contact. When the ball came back in, the second phase of the attack, we weren't aggressive enough. And yeah, I think that's more down to the team than individuals. Certainly the defence, I can't blame for any of the goals so far. I think we just needed to defend those situations better as a team. Definitely 100% that for me. But we're doing well. 3 goals conceded in 6 games is absolutely fantastic stuff. It's better than what we were last season. I think we've upgraded our defence line from last season. I think we've got more suitable players in the team. Obviously, Luke Ayling still to come back in as well. I think Luke Ayling is the best fullback in the league for me. I do genuinely believe that. I think in terms of all-round ability, I think he's the best in the league for me. Doran Torres joined us. Thanks for watching anyway, Dor, mate. And make sure you check out Doran Tor, Forest vlogger, absolutely fantastic Forest vlogger, top guy, one of my closest friends in the YouTube game. You may have seen him on the Forest preview, top guy. Make sure you check out the channel. Drew with Preston at the weekend. And again, they've picked up as well, Forest, to be fair to him. He says, despite the home defeat to Swansea, Leeds will still be up there. Now, Doran Tor has said since that preview that Leeds will win the league this season, so fair play, mate. Absolutely fair play. It's always good to hear that. And he actually, one of the main things I remember Dor saying was that he'd love Patrick Bamford in his team. And as we get a lot of, we moan sometimes about Paddy Bamford's finishing. You have to remember that opposition fans respect Patrick Bamford a lot. He has to take heed and note of that sometimes. Maybe we don't see at times his full influence, but again, if the opposition fans are fearing him, then that's a good sign for me. But yeah, I think Forest, it's an interesting one, Forest. I think we caught Forest on a good day. And I think since then they've really kicked on. They're winning games, playing good football, and scoring plenty of goals. I think there's another team, I think, who I've also said I see in the top 6 this season. I think they're a very, very good team. But yeah, it will be an interesting one this season. I think the game back in February between ourselves and Forest could be a really big game. I think it could be by that stage of the season when sort of 2/3 of the way into the season. It could be a big part of our season this year. But make sure, guys, you check out Doran Tor. Absolutely top guy. One of the nicest guys I've come across in the YouTube game. Make sure you check him out. Ian Moser, can't drop Dallas. Absolutely 100%, mate. Can't drop Dallas. I think it's probably been our second best player this season after Ben White for me. Yeah, we can't drop Dallas. I don't think. I'd like to think no one's suggesting that. I don't think we can drop Dallas at all. Damar Facey. When Dallas goes forward, we all go forward. It's a fair point. Dallas just adds so much to this team at the minute. In terms of individual skill, energy, and just energy. That's what he brings to the team: energy, bravery on the ball, fearlessness. He is absolutely fearless. And considering he's a winger playing at fullback, you'd never guess. You guess he's played right back all his career. For the last 15, 16 games Dallas has played, he's been so consistent every game. He was fantastic again for me on Saturday. Created a fantastic chance for Eddie. Defended brilliantly. Again, against Burst and Selena, or when Jan Dander went onto that side, I thought he did an absolutely fantastic job in that game for me. Babs, what happens if we don't get promoted? Do you think that's it? I think, guys, I'll be honest, if we don't get promoted this season, I think we lose a lot of players. I think obviously we lose Bielsa as well. And you've got to ask massive questions about whether we will get out of this league if we don't get promoted this season. That's not an arrogance thing. I think this is the best team we've had since the relegation in terms of balance, in terms of individual quality. I'd be really disappointed if we don't go up this season. Really disappointed. You know, I genuinely would. Or if we're not at least pushing for promotion this season. After the way last season finished, I think we have to kick on, trying to get that top two. And, you know, if we can't get the top two, just don't bottle it in the playoffs again. But easier said than done. But guys, if we don't go up this season, then you've got to ask questions, haven't we? Jaggy Babs, are you guys interested in doing something on Leeds and FIFA 20? My channel is all about FIFA. If you want a hand in doing something like that, we will get in touch, mate. We are always considering different kinds of content. But guys, I'll ask if you want to see that, guys, on the channel. Make sure you let us know, either on the chats or in the comments. We're always up for suggestions. But Jackie, or however you want me to call you, mate, I've always called you Jackie Babs, but I'll call you Jackie on this. Let us know, mate. You know, let us know, or we'll get back to you. But it sounds good to me, mate. We'll have to see, obviously, when FIFA 20 comes out. I'm not sure in terms of if there's any kind of like regulations to us doing that, but I highly doubt it. But guys, let us know in the comments down below if that is something you would like to see us do. Always happy to see suggestions in terms of new content and that lot. Sean Kirk, how many players would you be happy? How many points would you be happy with in these next 5 games, Oscar? And what do you expect us to get? And think in terms of targets. You look at the away games. I'd like to think we can at least win one of those away games between the Barnsley shot and the Millwall games. I think it's important we win one of them and at least pick something up from the other 2, and then at least win one of those home games against Derby or West Brom. So what's that? 1, 3. We've got to be looking to get at least 9 points from these next 5 games for me, mate. I think 9 points from the next 5 games, that puts us on 22 from the first 11, which is decent enough. But this is a tough 5 games, tough 5 games. In terms of what I expect us to get, I think reality is we'll probably lose one of the games, at least one of those games. Yeah, I don't know really. I think probably around that 8 or 9 points. I think we'll probably win one that I wouldn't expect us to win. I think, you look at some of those games are really, really tough games, really tough games. No matter where teams are in the table, it's going to be really difficult. And yeah, you'll have to wait and see. But I think anything around 9 or 10 points, anything above that would be very, very good. We don't want to go below that. We don't want to go too far below that. We don't want to lose 2 games in a row or anything like that. We just want to keep that defensive line solid and just take the chances. Just take our chances if we can. But anything around 9 or 10 points we'll be relatively happy with. If we can get more than that, we're well on course for me. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I didn't expect us to win at Bristol. I didn't expect us to win at the game against Stoke so easily. It's hard to predict. It is hard to predict. But yeah, just back onto Jackie Babs. If you guys want to see that, let us know in the comments down below or in the live chat. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing, guys. It's been so varied in terms of the way we have played. Some games have been clinical, some games we haven't. It's hard to guess really at the time of this team. It's hard to seriously see what this team's at. We know we're 3rd in the table, but I think those next 5 games gives a much bigger indication going into the next international break, where we've got again a big sort of congested other games. But the next 5 games are really well spread out. I think it's over 4 weeks, and we're playing 5 games of football. That's pretty well spread out. It's probably our least busy time of the season. Obviously, we've had 8 games to start off with, which has been pretty hectic. We're not in the cup competition, the League Cup anymore. So I think we are going to have that rest. So hopefully the Bielsa ball's fully at it. There's no tiredness. We're not having to rotate too much. We're not picking up injuries. Another big one. I think injuries are the big thing. I know we've got strength and depth, but we don't want injuries. I think we've done okay with them so far. I know obviously Aiden and Roberts are out, but we've been better than last season in terms of on that score. But yeah, hopefully we keep that up anyway, guys. Just we'll see if any other comments come in, or if we can scroll back and if there's any I've missed here. But yeah, guys, keep the comments coming in. But yeah, so it's just it's massive, isn't it? The next 5 games. You know, look at the Millwall game. The Millwall game gives a big indication as well. Barnsley away, all games where we're typically bad at. We're awful at Oakwell most of the time. I've seen so many piss poor performances away at Oakwell. I've seen some of the worst performances I've ever seen from a Leeds team at the Den. They're tough places to go, and it just shows how far we've gone as a team if we get results in those games, or if we can win those games. Charlton away, Lee Bowyer. It's not really an easy game. Charlton stopped the season absolutely brilliantly. Yeah, if we can win that game, it'd be another bonus as well. But again, a tough game. Lyle Taylor up top, causing a lot of problems. And then, of course, you've got Tom Lockyer, who's been a really good sign at the back for him as well. He's kept things tight. And he's just got a good balance to the team. Not got technical quality as such. Not got loads of technical quality. Not to be in any shape or form disrespectful towards Charlton, but they work absolutely fantastically as a team. They've got a system that works brilliantly for them. And they're above us in the table at the end of the day. So, absolutely fair play to them. It's a tough game. West Brom and Derby, notoriously tough game. So, it's going to be really difficult, But guys, I think I'm going to leave it there. I hope you've enjoyed this stream. Just under an hour. But yeah, guys, got plenty of content coming up for you this week. We're planning something this weekend, which is quite special. I'm going to just touch on Sean Kirk's comment just before I sign off. But yeah, guys, got plenty of content planned. We've got, obviously, Conor is going to do a championship roundup tomorrow. The last couple of weeks, we've not actually done the championship roundup so much. I apologise for that, guys. We apologise for that as a group, guys. We've just been really busy ourselves, going to and from games or with other commitments outside the channel. But guys, we will be back with the championship roundup hopefully tomorrow, and that'll be going out at some point this week. Make sure you check out Talking Short as well. Leeds United podcast, who are back this week as well. Matt, Gaz, and Raggy at the game on Saturday. All top lads, all absolutely top lads. Make sure you check out that. And yeah, we're gonna have some different types of content coming out, next couple of weeks. We have got, of course, we have got things coming up. We have mentioned it. I'm just going to try and put it all together in these next 2 weeks, with no game. And yeah, guys, we will keep the content coming through. As I said, with Conor's video, and yeah, I've got plenty of things planned. Obviously, Joe, Wainman with Monday Night Football next week. We'll keep an eye on it, guys, anyway. If you've got any suggestions of stuff you want us to do over the next couple of weeks in terms of videos, let us know, guys. Let us know. We're always open to suggestions. We've been international break. We have got time, a little bit more time on our hands. If there's anything you would like us to cover in a video at all. But just going to cover 2 more comments before I leave. So Sean Kirk, I fancy us to win 2 of the away games, maybe get a draw at Millwall, beat Derby at home, and then West Brom is tough. I think 10 points from 15, and I'd be happy with that. Again, I'm pretty much thinking the same, mate. I think 9 points from 15, if we can win 3 of them, lose 2, or win 2, draw 2, etc., etc. Win 2, draw 3. It's a decent enough. It's going to be tough though. I think you look at it and think we could lose some of those games. I think West Brom's a very, very difficult game. And I've not really touched that much on West Brom. That's going to be a tough game. They've been very, very impressive this season. They're very much, very, very close to us now. I think they're on 12 points from the first 6, playing very good football. In terms of attacking stats, they're matching us. They're not too far off us at all. In terms of shots a game, possession, I think Slaven Bielsa's doing a good job there. He's getting the team gelling well as a team. They have lost players, but they're a better team this season for me, and they're definitely someone who's going to push for the top 2 for me. Gail Dale, are we worried about home form? I'm just going to cover this as the last comment. Gail, I think it is a concern. 4 points from 3 games, 2 goals scored in 3 games isn't good enough. We've not been clinical enough at home. I think if it's nerves, I don't know. I don't know what it is really. The atmosphere has been fantastic at all 3 games. We played relatively well in all 3 games. I think certainly we're good on. Probably our best performance was on Saturday. We lost the game. It's just sometimes the way it goes. I don't think after 3 games we can make a complete judgment. I don't think it's a big enough sample size to make a judgment on. I think the next 2 games after that, Derby and West Brom, will give a bigger indicator. Obviously West Brom being a team that's up there, it's a massive indicator of that for me. So yeah, it'll be interesting. But I don't think it's something to get too massively concerned about so far, but something definitely to look at. Can we be more clinical at home? Are we nervous when we play at home? I think even towards the end of last season, we got beat by Wigan, drew with Villa, and got beat by Derby in our last 3 home games. It's a bit of a carry on from last season. So that's sort of 6 games, we've won 1 game. So yeah, just coming up with stats off the top of my head there. I hadn't planned that at all, by the way, guys. I just literally just thought of that as I was talking. But yeah, you know, it's massive, isn't it? It's going to be massive to improve the home form. No team's ever got promoted out of this league with poor home form, so it's definitely something to improve. I'm not too concerned by it so far, but I would like to see it improve as the season progresses. But guys, I hope I've covered okay for Joe Wainman. The main man is back next week. He will definitely be back next week. And I'm going to leave it there, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Another night of Monday Night Football. Like the video if you enjoyed what I've said. Make sure you leave a comment if there's anything I've not covered in this video, or if I've missed any of your comments during the live chat. I did have a bit of an issue picking up the live comments at the start, so I might have missed some comments at the start, guys. I apologise for that. But make sure you leave a comment, and I will mention it in the next video. One of us will mention it on next videos. And I think I'll leave it there, guys. It's been a great first 4 weeks of the season. Long may it continue. All Leeds TV. See you later, guys.